to talk about a dream I had quite some time ago. I never talked about it. I never put it up. I never really shared it with anybody, but I know that it is very, very, very pertinent to what's going on in the world and what's going to go on in the world. So I'll just go into the dream. So I had a dream and it was very futuristic. It looked like I was on a college campus and it was very, very, very pretty. Like it was pretty, like modern. Everything looked so modern in this on this campus, but everyone was young. It wasn't a college campus. It just looks like a college campus, but it looks like it may have been like a city, like a smart city. One of the things that was happening in the dream is that there were robots. There were huge robots the size of houses, like the size of like a 2-story house. That's how tall the robots were, and they were round. They were like a ball, like a big ball the size of a house. And they stood sentry in the cities. At least the one that I saw, they were standing sentry. And people were just like going about their business. No one really paid attention to these robots. And no one really cared that the robots were there. But me being in the dream, I just thought it was odd that they have these huge robots. They were scanning everybody walking around. And no one seemed to be worried about the robots. Like, just the enormity of them. Like, they were so big. And no one seemed to be like worried about these robots, but they were literally worried about every person walking through that city. The city was unbelievably sleek. Like, it was very modern and it was very sleek. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting over a cold. The city was very modern. It was very sleek. It was very ideal. Like, I couldn't look at the city and say, ew, you know, there was like nothing off about the city. It was perfect. Like, honestly, the city was perfect. So the next scene of this dream, we're in these 2 girls' houses. I should mention that I didn't see a lot of black people on the street, and I'm black, obviously. I probably saw for every 10 people on the street, maybe one of them was a person of color. It really wasn't a lot of black people. Everyone was young and everyone was mainly white. But next part of the dream, I am in this apartment with 2 black girls, and one of them looks like she's definitely a lesbian. The other one looks like most likely she's just straight. She's just like a regular girl. And they're roommates with each other, and they live in this apartment. However, there was a robot it was like one of the robots, but this one was different. This robot came into the apartment and it shape shifted. And it was trying to look at the girls to see, and this is really important part of the dream. It was looking at the girls to see if they were okay with something. I don't want to say it because of the censors. I don't know. I'll just say it. It's pedo file. So the robot was looking for people who were okay with that. And I think the robot assumed that these 2 black girls were not okay with it. So the robot like snuck into their apartment and like shapeshifted into their apartment and realized that the girl who was a lesbian was also looking at child, you know what? Like, she was looking at that kind of stuff online. Like indecent acts with children. So she was looking at that, and she was a lesbian, and it was odd because the other black girl, didn't know that she was into that kind of stuff. But once the robot saw, I think the robot was going to kill her. Once the robot saw that she was okay, like she was into that, it decided, like, I don't remember the dream completely, but I know that it was probably going to kill her because the second girl, the other black girl, was not into that at all. And she was fearing for her life. I was in the room with her and she was peeking. She was like in her bedroom. She was peeking into the living room, looking at the other girl, and knowing that once that robot had decided that that girl was going to live, it was going to come into her room to decide if she was okay with the PEDO stuff also. And she was afraid. So I realized that she was afraid that if she wasn't down with that, the robot was going to kill her. So these things are really that's pretty much my dream. There was other parts of it, like there was a part of the dream where this couple, it was such a loving couple. They were old and they were white, and they were just holding hands and like holding on to each other. But they work for this organization, and the organization wanted them to do this job. I don't know what the job was, but they had gotten it done, and they went back to the organization and was like, here, we did it, and submitted whatever they had to turn in. And the guy was sitting behind the desk, and he didn't want them to go. They just wanted to get out of these people's grip, you know, so that they can live their life happily ever after or whatever. And these people would not let them go, so they submitted whatever they had to submit. They sat down in front of the boss, whoever the guy is, and they're like, okay, or we're done. But they were not, like, they left that meeting not knowing whether or not they were not going to be a part of this organization anymore. Because I knew in the dream they just wanted to get out. They just wanted to get out. They just wanted to finally let us go. Let us be happy. Let us live. They were old. Like, they weren't young anymore. So I don't know how long they've been working for this organization. I just know that they were really, this couple was really in love with each other. Like, they were so in love with each other. And I just know that they wanted to do their last job and get out. That's pretty much all I remember from the dream. But the guy, I should mention, the guy behind the desk was definitely a PEDO. You know what? He was definitely that. I'm not an interpreter of dreams. I'm not that kind of thing. I know that God gives me dreams. I know that a lot of times, especially if you guys watch my Trump dream video, it seems like it kind of ends up happening in some way. So what is my take from the dream? You guys have your own interpretation. I'm definitely interested in what you guys think of these two dreams. They're definitely futuristic, so they're not anything I can see coming within the next 25 years, but I definitely see this coming 40, 50 years. I could definitely see a society that's like this. But what I got from the dream, when I woke up, I realized one thing, and I hope you guys are watching the video, because I am going to insert some clips in here. And I realized that the things that we think we're fighting against, especially people who are Christian and people who are traditionalists, the people who are trying to fight against a lot of the stuff that they're teaching kids in school now about gender reassignment, we think that it's people who are gay. We really do. We think it's the people who are lesbian and the guys who are gay. It's not. It's not them. On top of them is the PEDOs. They are running everyone underneath. So the whole flag, that whole flag is not, they're being used to push this eventuality, which is obviously, it's starting with the kids transitioning. It's sexualizing the kids so that the kids are worrying about their gender, worrying about, anal sex and, oral sex. And okay, so I can't basically even spell that word, because even as I was just filming this in my car on my iPhone, my phone starts to overheat, and then iPhone warns you if your phone gets too hot that you have to basically wait till it cools down. So I am sitting in the sun, but it's like 50 degrees outside. It's not even too hot. So my phone definitely started to overheat as I was like telling the dream, which is weird. My phone gets hot, but not like, it's, even as I'm talking now, it's still really hot. And so I don't know. I guess that's basically the whole point of the dreams. What I was saying is that in the future, if you speak out against these people, the computers are going to be programmed, the robots are going to be programmed to take you out. Excuse me. They were designed to eliminate the people who are against this idea, this ideology. They were designed to take out everyone who was against it. And I realized that as much as we look at LGBTQ, everything like that, they're being used. The people above them are those individuals. So it's strange that I was like talking about them and my phone just starts to overheat out of nowhere. That's like an example of basically what's going to happen in the future. Like devices, AI, robots, everything is going to be weaponized against anyone who is against this particular ideology. But let me know what you guys think about these two dreams and what your interpretation is. This video is for the body of Christ. If the body of Christ can wake up, if we can all wake up, we're not going to have it easier going forward in the future. The days of trying to save America are over. You're not going to save this country. God will give you time, but you're not going to save and transform this country. I was watching a video on PragerU. Congratulations, kudos to them for making the attempt to try to educate people on what the future is going to look like, and that's not going to be pretty. Imagine, a world that is going to be so incredibly perfect, but that in order to live in that world, you have to conform every single idea you have to what is acceptable by the powers that shouldn't be. They're going to create basically what we would consider a utopia. It's going to seem like a utopia. It's going to look like a utopia. It's going to be incredibly pretty. Just looking at it, it's going to be beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so, so, so beautiful to look at. But access to that world is going to come at a cost. A very, 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 very high cost. I don't think people are going to be able to marry the way they can now. I don't think people are going to be able to get into relationships the way they can. I mean, the algorithms are already predicting who's going to be together. So the algorithms are already predicting, matching people based on whatever criteria is inputted into the program. So they're already deciding the next generation. I don't know. I don't see this technological world getting better for humans. Yeah, that's the future. And I'm gonna end this video because I have another video that is honestly, quite frankly, more important. And this one I believe is gonna happen before this video. So this video, I would say, is very far in the future. I would say 50 years plus, but we're already on track with everything they're pushing with the kids. They already are on track to making this future. But the video I need to talk to you guys about is something that's going to happen sooner, and it's basically the fact that the country is going to get very, very, very bad. It's going to get very bad. I would say in between now, so this 2022, as I'm doing this video, between now and 2030, it's going to be bad. Because I know God gives me these dreams and these revelations for a reason, so that I can share them with people. As bad as this dream was, I don't have much more to say, except that what we're fighting is not, the LGBT. Is that's not it. There's something way higher than that. And that thing that's higher than them is it's powerful. It's very powerful. But it's also hidden. We don't know that we're fighting that thing. We people know that it exists, but people don't know that it is in control of a lot. And that at some point in the future, and probably right now in the present, it will control what we can even speak about it. Does that make sense? So what we can say about those individuals who are now in secret and hiding, and they're hiding behind that rainbow flag, and they're hiding behind a lot of this stuff, but they're manipulating everything. Those are the people that we should be looking at, finding out who those people are. Those people are the ones that are going to be controlling the robots. They're probably already in control of AI. They're probably in control of a lot of things already. They're not just trying to push this into one community, or have the whole society accept it. They're gonna make it so that if you do not accept this, you're gonna die. That's the society that they want. So if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, if you understand the end times, and we're in the end days, obviously there's preparation that you could make. There's preparation that you can start making now for yourself and your family, because I think this is probably 50 to 100 years out. So they're already started making this society. And I'm going to cut the video now. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.